Hello, everyone. This is Nicole Johnson-Starr with the PTSD Retreat Radio Talk Show. Tonight, we're going to have a really awesome show because not only is two wackos and key lime pie going on, because hello, Kevin's here. You know, nothing like. But we also have guests tonight that were actually on the SKYDIVE retreat that we just recently had, and we're going to have our two of the veterans that were at that retreat, and one of them is Colonel Jim Garden. He's retired Army, and then we'll also have Senior Airman Pamela Cole. She's also medically separated from the Air Force, and these two have a very unique view of the Earth from the angle of jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. And they finally joined the 1% of the 1% that are now skydiving. And Kevin, I'm telling you, man, this was one heck of an awesome trip. And I'm telling you...
Oh, wait.
I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. That was last week's show. I'm sorry. You asked me a question just as I was pulling up the show to put the link online. What did you ask me?
Didn't ask. I was telling you. See, this is proof he doesn't listen to me, folks. He's such a man. No, I was telling you that we got guests tonight. We've got Jim Garden and we've got Pamela Cole that's going to be coming on, but Jim's actually waiting to get on with us. Okay. And Jim, are you there? Hold on a second. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the PTSD Retreat Radio Talk Show tonight.
No, my pleasure.
How was this weekend?
Well, I learned some interesting techniques to assist with my control of my symptoms and had a hell of a jump out of an airplane.
Well, you know what? I would love you to say that again because Kevin's pounding keys.
Sorry.
Okay, tell everybody what you just said.
I said I learned some interesting techniques to help control some of my symptoms of my PTSD and had a hell of a jump out of an airplane.
Kevin, I am going to beat you with a wet noodle if you don't stop pounding those keys. He's pounding the keys still.
No, you can't hear that, can you?
I wouldn't be saying it otherwise. Mute your mic. Your hands in the air. You know, Jim, I was so excited to have you on here because you had started ground school. You had started jump school in 1982, right?
Correct. Right.
So you finally finished.
I injured my knee on Thursday of Tower Week. I twisted it and never completed it. I couldn't get sent back, and I'd always wanted to actually parachute, so finally got it done. My God, 30 years later?
Well, you know, I got to see you doing this, and we did the wind tunnel first, and I was laughing so hard because we were all having difficulties. But what was the one thing you took away from, you know, wind tunnel, and then, you know, in preparation for doing the skydive?
Well, one, the wind tunnel kind of threw me. I'm usually pretty good at physical skills. I felt like a log in the wind tunnel. I just couldn't grasp that thing, and it frustrated me so because the two of you did so well in that, it was scary. And I was just bouncing off the sides, the floor, I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to control myself. And it really had me worried when I was actually going to go out of the plane, but once I realized, hey, all you got to do is hang there like a log, and, you know, my parachutist would actually bring me to the ground, then it became kind of easy. But I look back, and it's just the part that actually, you know, stunned me a couple of days later was, my God, we were falling awful fast till those parachutes opened.
Yeah, well, falling from 13,500, I'm going to beat you. Falling from 13,500 feet, I mean, come on. And you know what? What's really funny is I went back and flew the plane the next day. We actually go up to 14,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was a really awesome experience. And you know what? You fell very, very well.
Yeah, it does. Well, you know, it's always been said that anyone can learn how to fly. It's just very few people have mastered the art of landing. You know?
Airborne.
Airborne, definitely.
Airborne, Jim. So,
yeah, that's true.
What I found in airborne school was that it wasn't the jumping out of the plane that was the hard part of the problem. It was the landing part that sucked.
Yeah, that ground does come up kind of quick.
In the last 200 meters, yes, it does. I mean, it just seems like you're in a dream and it's floating and you're in a haze, but in that last 200 meters, it's like somebody pushes fast forward on the VCR button.
I will concur with that. You know.
Yeah, I kept watching my altimeter and I'm like, okay, let's see, 500 feet. Okay, this is a combat jump. Holy good God, this is not very high up. Oh man, you have no chance to deploy secondary chute if your main doesn't open, because by the time you've decided you've got problems, you've got ground. That's all there is to it.
And
so,
you know, from 1,200 feet, as I'm sure you know, they're at Airborne School at Fort Benning, and that's fairly enough. Yeah, I couldn't imagine 500 feet. You would have time for your chute to open, deploy.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, you know, while we did work on, you know, we did have a lot of fun doing the skydive and the wind tunnel, you know, Jim, did you gain anything from learning about your PTSD?
Yes, I did, actually. That I can actually learn how to relax and figure out a little bit more about myself and how to get rid of some of these, you know, negative feelings and replace them with positive ones. That I thought I was getting rid of the negative feelings, but I hadn't replaced them with anything, so they had a way of just sneaking around the back door and coming back in and would, you know, still be there in a couple of days. So I think I'm being able to work out the negative and replacing them with more positive feelings. And believe it or not, even though I'm on medications, which I'm going to talk to my doctor about, to keep from having any PTS-related dreams, I think it's time I start coming off of those, because early morning hours I've been having some very interesting dreams, and they're very pleasant dreams, and I think I want to go back to dreaming again. So I think I'm done with my PTSD dreams. I really do. And if I do have one, I think I can handle those, you know, by using, you know, an emotional freedom technique while I'm awake to realize what it was that happened and replace that with something more pleasant, even something pleasant from back in country. Because, you know, there were some fun times, or at least, you know, we did pull some cruel and unusual jokes on our local mujahideen and some of our translators and such. But, you know, I don't suppose taking all the lug nuts off on the Exo's vehicle was a real winner, at least not from his standpoint, but we sure as hell had a good laugh at it. But,
you know, I said this before, I'm going to say this now, you make my practical jokes look like I'm a baby trying to play big boy games.
Well, we were willing to accept the punishment, and, yeah, we got kind of banished from the compound for a couple of days without any real place to go. So, yeah, we hung out in Bagram for a couple of days. Fortunately, we made friends with the SF up there, and we were at least able to put a hanger over our heads for the 2 nights that we were told don't come back. So,
well, thank God for SF. They definitely know how to play hard, just as hard as, well, shoot. They know how to play hard,
Well,
just like the Airborne and everybody, all those crazy guys. You know, there's Airborne's crazy, especially the 101st.
Airborne.
So, well, Jim, I want to ask you one more quick question. Would you do this again, and would you do it with the PTSD retreat?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
No, not a, wouldn't even have to think twice.
well, is there anything you want to say to troops that are overseas or here in the country that you need support that you would, you know, any words of wisdom that you would pass on?
Don't be afraid to seek help. Don't even worry about being stigmatized. That is not supposed to happen. If it does, report that up the chain of command. And if it is the chain of command, find a chaplain, find a JAG officer, make those complaints heard, still continue to seek treatment. The earlier you get treatment, the better off you as a person will be.
Awesome.
That's great advice, Jim. That's the exact same advice I'd give.
Okay. Well,
Yep. You will return, if you're meant to return to full duty and be a productive soldier, sailor, airman, marine, coasting, whatever, you will. If it's time to go and be medically retired, so be it. But get the help. Don't be one of those angry vets. I've known too many of them from this war, and my friends that were Vietnam veterans from my early days in the Army.
well,
Please, get help.
Jim, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I know you're going to be on Talking with Heroes on Thursday, so I look forward to talking to you then. We do have another caller coming in. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll be calling you soon.
Okay, Nick.
All
Good
right.
talking to you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. This is Nicole Johnson Star with the PTSD Retreat, Two Wackos and Key Lime Pie with Kevin Lake. Hello?
Hey, this is Kyle.
Holy crap.
That's Ringer. What's up, Ringer? This is Lake.
Hey, I'm just sitting in my office at work, reading some emails.
I haven't heard that voice in 3 years, I think. Close to it. Hey, everybody listening to the show, this is Kyle Ringeisen. He was one of my battle, and I don't say his name because Nicole can't pronounce it. He was one of my battle buddies from my old unit in the Washington Army National Guard, and we had the pleasure and luxury of spending a year together in a little place you guys know as Iraq.
And Kyle, it's my understanding that you have some dishing to do on Kevin.
I might have some pretty funny stories about Kevin. Now, some of them are only hearsay. I wasn't actually in the vehicle when certain things.
You can find a picture of it on my Facebook authors page. I am wearing my helmet though, and it's just from like. Why are you, Nicole? Why do you act surprised?
Great, thank you so much.
I didn't even put shorts on today.
It's official. I have just seen his underwear.
They're pink, aren't they? Oh, I just kicked over my piss bottle. Sorry.
Did you just fart?
But it's empty. Okay, Kyle, what were you saying about stories about crazy lakes?
There's a few. That one in particular that I had heard rumors about, but I wasn't actually there for it, which was disappointing. Then the whole deal that you went through when you weren't getting paid, and for some reason they didn't feel like it was okay that you were upset about that.
Oh, yeah.
And all that fun that
ensued.
ensued.
In Iraq without receiving a paycheck, and our leadership would not let me go to the pay department to inquire about it because I was only an E4, and that if I were to ask again, I would fill every sandbag they could find in Mosul, and that me and my kids who were not having their needs met back home were spoiled, and that I needed to look around at the Iraqi children to see how bad some kids actually had it. Is that what you're talking about, Kyle?
Yeah, and then, as Blake would normally have it, he can't just be quiet for 5 seconds.
Thank you so much for saying that out loud.
Well,
you can't be quiet for 5 seconds.
Sorry, Kyle.
Most of the time, he has good things to say, and in this particular situation, I don't know that anybody should have been quiet, but it resulted in some pretty ridiculous issues that came up because of it. So.
But that's why there's good battle
Yeah.
buddies now.
Yeah,
Then that time that probably wasn't the case, was it, Kevin?
Well, you know what? Kyle and a bunch of other guys were great battle buddies there. They're the only reason I got through those times.
Yeah.
Because I had them to lean on. You know, and Jim, who was just on the air, mentioned the chaplain. I was going to the chaplain twice a week. I'm not religious. You know, I believe in God, but I'm not smart enough to pick sides. I was raised in a household where one parent was Catholic, the other was Baptist, and I got to see that my whole life and be played by both sides. So I choose to have nothing to do with organized religion today. But by God, I'll fight for your right to choose the religion you want to choose as an American. But I was going to the chaplain twice a week, just, you know, serve. They're not paying me. They won't let me go to the State Department. The chaplain got involved to help. And it was battle buddies like Kyle that you know, gave me an outlet, somebody to talk to get me through those times. It's unfortunate. This has been coming up a lot lately, this toxic leadership issue. Nicole, you shared it on your group, and I thank you for that. I just wrote an article about my old drill sergeant, who's now a first sergeant, and just as of a few days ago has been placed in an active sergeant major position in the U.S. Army because of his quality leadership. So this leadership issue has been coming up again, and Kyle could attest to you. And Kyle, I've never mentioned a name here, and I never will, because I don't want to give credit to the evildoers. I don't want to give them any spotlight. I wrote about all that stuff in the author's afterword of my novel, Off Switch, and I'm trying to leave it there. And for now, I'm trying to focus on the good people in the military, the positive leaders like First Sergeant Byron Humphrey. But yeah, Kyle's proof. We had some toxic leadership, and it caused some bad juju. And we have battle buddies from our deployment who, to this day, 3 years later, after being home, have a hard time going outside their house because they've lost all faith and trust in the human race, because they were treated like felons in a penitentiary simply for raising their hand at the time of war and saying, "Hey, America, take me," and going to fight the fight, the few fights so the majority doesn't have to.
Well, if you recall, I was surprised that I was still getting, being called a baby killer when I left for Afghanistan, 2008. Seriously, we're not in the 60s. 2008. Right. So I mean, thank God we all take care of each other. That's all I got to say on that one. But Kyle, we get to formally welcome you.
Are you giving Kyle a job?
Oh, formally?
I'm formally welcoming you. Yeah, Kyle's got a job. On top of his 6 kids. I don't know how you live, man. Because I have one, and one is a perfect number for me.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment in my house, that's for sure.
Well, you guys, Kyle
it's crazy.
Kyle is officially going to be writing articles on PTSD for the PTSD retreat. And so he is now officially a member of the staff as a volunteer writer. And
wow.
Don't be surprised when he calls in and gives Kevin heck on Tuesday nights. I hope he does it on a regular basis. Kyle, can we count on that? Even if it's infrequently.
Yeah, I don't have any issues razzing Lake a little bit about his craziness and his conspiracy theories and all that kind of fun stuff that he throws around all the time. I like to get under his skin a little bit. It'll be fun.
They're not theories, Kyle. They are not theories. That stuff is real. I grow my own eggplant, and
I don't think I've found something that Kevin isn't passionate about on some capacity. So, no matter what you say, he'll probably, rant and rave for about 20 minutes about it, and then
write a book.
We don't get it a word in edgewise.
He'll write a book, so that way it can be heard for the long term, right, Kevin?
Well, I see my buddy Kyle hasn't changed much either. Thanks, Kyle. I thought you were going to show me some brotherly love.
He did.
Much.
He's saying that you are perfect for talking on the radio station every Tuesday night.
Oh man, he could probably write 100 books about all the different things.
You're slamming your Shia. How would you say it? Your table.
Oh, by Chinese Tai.
Kai. You're slamming your Kai table.
Yeah, Tai, that means species in the local language here, Visayan. So Chinese Tai is Chinese. Everything here is made China terrible, low-class quality. So when I bang my table, Nicole can't hear. Kyle, welcome to our team, man. I'm really, seriously, all BS aside, I'm glad to hear from you, glad to know you're doing well, and I'm glad to know that you're getting involved with our team. And Kyle, I hate to make you look like your name is little, but we've got a big name that's just joined our team as of 10 minutes before I called into the show. Nicole, should I make this announcement now?
What do you think, Kyle? Should we let him?
I don't know if we have time.
All right, I'm going to kick you off then so we can actually get that announcement because we want to make sure we have time. Kyle, thank you so much for calling in, and we'll be talking to you soon.
I'm going to read your articles and edit them with my red pen to lower your self-esteem. Red pens have been banned from the public in America because of lower self-esteem.
Don't worry, he won't be going anywhere near you with red pens.
I'm going to take away any self-esteem you have.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much. We'll see you next. We'll talk to you soon. And don't worry, when I'm finally able to get to my email, I'll send you a whole bunch of stuff to fill out.
Sweet. Sounds good. Don't forget about me now.
Lord, no. All right, talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. All right.
Later, Kyle.
All right, go ahead and make your announcement because we still have one more person. I'm actually going to go ahead and call her and have her sitting on the side. And we won't be able to see video, but we'll put her on there. But Pamela Cole, the other participant, the other veteran that was sponsored through the Skydive Retreat. So share with me your great announcement, man. We got to have everybody hear it.
Okay, here's the announcement. Has anybody ever heard of a guy that goes by the name of Joe the Plumber?
Joe the Plumber.
You know who Joe the Plumber is, Nicole?
Who is Joe the Plumber?
Oh, you're kidding me, right? Yeah, okay. She's shaking her head, folks. You can't see her on the webcam. Joe the Plumber is a guy that has called mainstream politician, normal, born and bred politicians always saying the same thing, telling the people what they want to hear. He called them on their crap a few years ago, you might remember. And he's known for his mantra of don't spread my wealth, spread my work ethic. And he's now developed his own following, and he's doing a lot of things to help veterans. Well, I actually received a message and a friend request 2 days ago on Facebook from Joe the Plumber. Somebody had brought the article that I'd just written on First Sergeant Byron Humphrey to his attention, and he wanted to talk to me. So this morning, I was up at 3 a.m. here in the Philippines instead of 4 a.m. because I knew I had the show today, so I wanted to get up and get some things done early. I Skyped Joe the Plumber there in America, in Ohio, and we talked for 48 minutes and 27 seconds on Skype. Had a great conversation. We had the webcam going. It was amazing. But the long and short of it is that he has asked me, and I have accepted his offer to be a contributing author to joesamerica.com, his website. And I will be a contributing author addressing issues affecting veterans and the Veterans Administration and how the Veterans Administration is helping or not helping veterans. So I'm on cloud nine. I'm excited. My whole mission I'm using as part of my writing. I'm still writing my fictional novels that deal with, beasties and ghosties and scary monsters and curses and Bigfoot. I mean, it's just passion. But I'm gearing a lot of my writing towards bringing awareness to suicidal veterans, the veteran suicide cause. Well, Joe the Plumber is now going to help us get word out. Here within the next 48 hours, he's going to be plugging my book Off Switch on Twitter, on Facebook, website, and
that's awesome.
So we'll get him on the show. We'll get him on the show someday, so you guys can tune in to 2 Wackos and Key Lime Pie here on the PTSD Retreat and call in and talk to Joe the Plumber. Who, again, and if you're listening, Joe, thank you again for the offer. It's going to be an honor to write articles and know that they're going out with connected to the links from your site. So, folks, that's the big announcement. We will beat down the doors of the American people to let them know that 22 veterans a day taking their own life is not acceptable.
Never.
And if we weed out the 5% of the leadership in the military that's toxic and poisonous and doesn't need to be there, let the other 95% shine their bright lights of good quality leadership, we'll take care of the problem. If we can quit allowing veterans and soldiers to be used as guinea pigs for the big pharmaceutical companies, through the VA, for the next wonder drug that they hope makes them $1 trillion, we will reduce the suicide numbers among the veterans in the U.S. Okay? Nicole keeps her mouth shut on this, but I don't.
Oh, no. No, I actually have something to share on that.
Okay, go ahead. Kyle was right. I'm talking too much. It's your turn, Nicole.
I love you, Kevin.
Love you.
No, I'm actually going to show you. You guys heard Jim. If he is now, he definitely knows his meds, and he has a medical background, but even he feels like, you know, there's just two meds out there. And by the way, our other guest is trying to figure out how to call in. You know, meds, I do not like them. And I totally agree that pharmaceutical companies are not making cures, they're making customers. And one of the reasons while people are discrediting alternative methods, hello, you can't make money on someone who is healing and recovering on their own. You know, it's funny,
you lose a customer.
Yeah, and with the PTSD retreat, one of the things that we do is we teach EFT. You heard Jim talk about emotional freedom techniques, EFT.
Yeah.
It's not going to make us money. We give it absolutely free to anybody. Anybody who wants to learn EFT, we will bring it over to them, especially, you know, veterans and their families. And that means family is not just blood, not just marriage. It is whoever you choose to be your battle buddy, you know, your closest support, you know, for life. That's your family. And we give this for free to them. And guess what? It doesn't make money. And they are getting rid of their symptoms. That's cure. Not, oh, let me give you some medication and let me keep you as a zombie. I hate the zombie craze that's going on, this fad of zombie. You know what? We are creating our own zombies. It's called medicating, over-medicating our soldiers. And I believe in healthy, strong soldiers who can still do their job. We have wonderful, wonderful soldiers, you guys, and they are struggling, and they shouldn't have to. They don't have to. If they just need to know. And if we could get away from the over-medicate, medication should be the absolute last resort. Now I'm slamming my table, and it's not Kia. Kai. See here, this is why I have him here. It's not Kai. So, I mean, we need to... It's glass. We need to take care of our soldiers. That means build them up, not break them down. It means give them the tools they need to do it themselves, to take care of themselves, to take care of each other, and take care of their families, and build up their families. I mean, I can't tell you how many have told me, you know, if I didn't have my family there, I wouldn't be able to do this. Even today, you know, we have another new individual that's coming on the team, and this guy's actually going to be full-time. And I'll let him introduce himself another time. We'll just call him Sarge for now. But when Sarge comes on board, he'll tell you it's his family that kept him together. Just like Kevin has shared with you guys over and over and over how important his family is. And finally, Pam is able to call in. So hold on just a second. We're going to add her to this. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I finally figured it out, but I don't know how the video thing works.
No worries. We are going to add you to this group. Hold on. I think I just hung up on Kevin. So, yep, he's going to tell me I hung up on him. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay, you know what, Pam, go ahead and share. Hold on just a second. We're going to fix this. Just a sec. I don't know how to fix this. Kevin, are you there?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can, and I accidentally hung up on her. You guys, I'm terrible. I am so terrible. Hold on just a second. Will it work?
Hi, Nick.
Okay. Not Kyle. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, phew. Folks, I'm so sorry. I'm technologically illiterate. Pam, welcome to the radio show. Pam, Kevin, Pam.
Hello, Pam.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So, Pam, we had Jim on earlier. Thank you so much for coming on. You guys, Pam is the other veteran that was sponsored by so many of you for the PTSD retreat, joint retreat with all veteran parachute team to create the Therapy in the Air Skydive retreat. Pam, share.
Yes.
Tell me about your experience, because you came with a very unique perspective on this skydive retreat.
I did. I actually was deathly afraid of heights, and so that was another challenge for me besides just trying to overcome my symptoms of PTSD. So that was actually pretty fun to actually conquer.
Wow. Now, we didn't just, go skydiving for you. What did you do? What led you up to that? And just share your story.
Well, back before I even got in touch with you guys with the PTSD retreat, I had just been researching resources for veterans with PTSD, not only for myself, but for other vets, because I like to share what I found out, or what I find when I research. And when I found the PTSD retreat and heard the possibility of this skydiving retreat, it was awesome. But before we even went skydiving, we worked on a lot of, we learned a lot of tools through human caring listening techniques and EFT to try to work on our symptoms. With me, mostly mine is anxiety and emotions, and I learned a lot through that.
Well, I'm grateful that you came. What was your most awesome moment throughout the entire retreat?
Probably there were many, but probably just the fact that I conquered something I wasn't sure I could conquer, but I wanted to try, and it just felt really good to be able to overcome something that I didn't think I could.
Wow. And
which was fear of heights.
That's awesome. Did it do anything for your PTSD?
It did. I learned so much as to how to calm myself down when I'm in those moments of anxiety and when I'm getting overwhelmed with emotions and stuff like that. I learned how to tap it out and just try to deal with it and not get way too out of control with myself, and just kind of try to keep myself in control and lower my anxiety, and it really helped me to do that. It's amazing how these techniques actually work when you don't think that you can even calm yourself down at the moment.
That would be Kevin's rooster. Just ignore it. He's got cats on patrol to get it. But
It's not my rooster, it's the neighbor's roosters. I'm trying to have my cats kill them.
But, Pam, we got to spend a lot more time because we drove down from D.C. together. You flew into D.C. and you flew out from D.C. I get to tell you, what was really awesome to me was you told me, if you don't mind me sharing, about your sleep.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah, you told me that you had not slept a whole night in 13 years.
13 years?
That's right. 13.
And what happened at the retreat?
I slept. I actually, it was kind of chaotic when we were getting to sleep just because we were so busy with different stuff. So it was a different time every night, but I really actually got to sleep every single night and actually slept through the night until it was time to wake up. And that was amazing to me. It was so refreshing.
That right there was so huge to me, and I was so excited for you guys there.
Yeah, that was exciting to me because it's one thing when you experience insomnia every now and then, maybe one day out of a week, or even just every so often, but when you're dealing with it night after night for 13 whole years, it becomes your life, and you kind of get used to it, but at the same time it still sucks because everybody's asleep when you're awake and vice versa. So it was really nice to be able to sleep when everyone else was sleeping and actually be awake to do everything with everybody else.
Wow. Well, I am so grateful that you were able to be there, and I thank you so much for calling in and sharing this. Is there anything that you would like to pass on to others who may be considering using the PTSD retreat or going on one of our retreats?
Actually, I would say totally do it. I mean, even if it's a retreat that you think you might not be able to handle, or you think that you're too scared to do, just do it anyway, because you surprise yourself in these things. And learning about the techniques is so amazing, because now when I'm at home by myself, I don't even have to call anybody to be able to talk me through my anxiety and talk me through my emotions, because I have the tools now to do what I need to do to try to calm myself. I'm not perfect at it yet. And my mind still kind of wanders when I'm trying to, keep it on what I'm doing, but it helps so much more than just being lost like I was before. So yeah, definitely do it, and it's so much fun. I mean, we had a blast, and I can't even say enough about how much this to me, even just the getaway from normal everyday stressors of life. It's just amazing.
Pam,
yeah.
You sound, I can't see you, but you sound young. How old are you? That's not,
I'm actually, well, I don't mind. I get that all the time, actually. I will be turning 30 on the 22nd.
Woohoo!
Okay, so I'm right, you are young. And you notice what just happened here.
Kevin, do me a favor.
Listening to the show while we're talking. But anyway, yeah, it's perfectly acceptable to ask a lady how old they are in the Eastern Hemisphere, but not in America. But anyway, I can hear the youth in your voice. You're much younger than Nicole and I. And I'm glad you had this experience, and thank you for sharing it with our listeners. Jim, who was on before you, mentioned about not being afraid to ask for help. Pam, I would encourage you and other young people under 30 or of any age, young people especially, a lot of the soldiers are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. They're 21 years old. They're combat armed. They're infantry airborne. They're supposed to be too tough to show weakness. Well, guys, suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder or any other mental illness is not a weakness. It's a part of the human condition. And if you are suffering, ask for help. Who cares about peer pressure? Who cares about the stigma and what other people think? Not that too many young people care. Sam, we are so happy that you came on the show to share your experience, and because it shows that people like yourself who have reached out for help can overcome some of these isms. And after 13 years of suffering from insomnia, you are now sleeping again because you reached out and you got the help you needed. And thank you for the courage it took to do that. You're an inspiration to others.
And it's my pleasure. I am so grateful to Nicole and the rest of the, PTSD retreat and the All Veteran Parachute team, because everyone was so supportive, and I didn't feel that stigma from anyone about, you're so young, how could you go through that stuff? How could you have even gone through enough to, have PTSD? I didn't feel any of that like I do with, talking to other vets sometimes, just because I didn't go through as much as some, but I went through quite a bit, and it was such a pleasure to just be around everyone. It was awesome.
Pam, I'm going to ask you a question here real quick, because I would like to know, I know that I didn't ask, but I'm going to ask you this because I want people to realize, did you ever have to tell your trauma?
No,
but,
not at all. And the techniques you can learn without even speaking any of your trauma. You do it to yourself. As far as you speak it to yourself, but no one ever has to hear those words that you're saying. You can say them in your head without anyone hearing. So no, I've never had to speak any of my trauma. to be able to work on it.
I just wanted that.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that out, Nicole, because as you and I say on the show all the time, it's not about what happened to you, it's about how you're affected by what happened to you. And Pam is proof that you don't have to, come out and bear that part of your soul when you ask for help, and so that doesn't bring with that, oh, what if they tell somebody this happened, what if, this person, this is common with different sorts of traumas. But Pam is proof, folks listening, that you can get help and be helped without reliving those experiences. It's not about reliving the past, it's about living in the present and going forward in the future better than you were yesterday because you seek help.
Right. Absolutely right.
Well, Pam, we're going to have you on the radio on Thursday night with Talking with Heroes, where you're going to actually get to share some more and get some feedback from others. And I thank you so much for calling in tonight. So...
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for giving me such an awesome opportunity.
Oh, Lord, it was my pleasure. And no more making, traumatizing your bed and making it suffer through crap. and it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure getting to know you. And I promise that I will not sleep on any more, beds that prefer action either. In seedy hotels.
What?
And you just opened the can of worms. Now we're going to tell everybody about that story.
I will definitely put it out there. But for you, I will talk to you on Thursday night on the Talking with Heroes program with Blog Talk Radio. And for everybody else, thank you guys so much for listening. Kevin, stick around. And Pam, you have a wonderful, wonderful night.
All right, you too. Nice meeting you, Kevin.
Nice meeting you too, Pam.
All right. Take care, Cam.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Kevin?
Yeah.
Did
we go over?
No, we didn't. We actually did not. We have 3 minutes. And I'm going to quickly share with you what we're talking about. We stayed at this hotel. And this was not... I should have known better because the price was extremely cheap. But it was called the Red Carpet Inn. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to tell you what it's called.
Just don't say the city. Don't say the city.
I will not say the city. I don't even know the city, so that works out very well.
Okay.
And we went in there, and I'll put it this way. The lights were afraid to come on and show us the seediness of this hotel. Because none of them worked in the room. So, and then on top of that, there was like bubbles in the ceiling that looked like they were like eggs about to hatch, and we had no clue what type of bugs were going to crawl out of it. And we decided that our beds had been traumatized. Her bed was the wife bed and mine was the husband bed, because her bed kept trying to get away from her, and my bed kept wanting to make some serious noise all night long. So I thought it was the neighbors next door, and I realized it was the bed underneath me. So
Oh, in the room below you?
no, I thought it was like every time I moved on that bed, it was like
Oh, okay.
like a 70s porn show. All we were
Pavlov's dog. It had developed a stimulus and response thing because it had so much action, huh?
Exactly. So I was just like, okay. Yeah, I could not move any direction without, like, knocking on walls. And it was not on purpose. So, and Pam and I got a kick out of that. So, that's what that came up. We went punch drunk stupid hour. God bless stupid hours, I gotta tell you. And, I'm going to quickly just end this segment, you guys, by letting you know this retreat, the Skydive Retreat, was made possible through many benefactors. Our top benefactor was Torrin Nelson, and we had Blue Emu and All Veteran Parachute Team and DBA Aviation, Paraclete Sky Venture. By the way, if you guys want to do a wind tunnel and do indoor skydiving, go to Paraclete. Oh my gosh! And just so you guys know, we don't get any benefit out of this. It's already over. But and they didn't ask for this. But we had so much fun that we went back. We went back after we had finished doing our tandem jump, just to go play some more in the wind tunnel, because after doing the wind tunnel in the morning and then experiencing the skydive, the wind tunnel made a lot more sense the second time around. And
Yeah.
it was definitely worth it. And I will say this Paraclete has excellent prices. It's like between, I don't remember what the price is, but it's not that bad. And you're paying for minutes, but I'm telling you, those minutes are long because every second counts in the air. And you feel every second because that wind knocks you in the face and reminds you, hey, I'm here. So it was a wonderful experience. And we're about to run out of seconds here. If you want to know more, contact the PTSD Retreat at theptsdretreat.org. Thank you so much for listening. We will be, Kevin, are we going to be right back?
Sure, yeah.
We will be right back. And this is Nicole Johnson-Starr and Kevin Lake with 2 Wackos and Key Lime Pie on the PTSD Retreat Radio Talk Show. Good night, everybody. We'll see you. Actually, we're not going to say good night to you because we're going to talk to you guys in just a few minutes. We're going to take a break.